what have you. And however it's made, it's not perfect, whereas a smoothie is a little bit better. And I don't put any sweetener in it like honey. The fruit is sweet enough, so it tastes really good just as is. Especially, and if you freeze watermelon and then put it in a smoothie, it tastes so good. It tastes better than regular watermelon. I'm not a huge watermelon person, but if you freeze it, it tastes extra good frozen, like a frozen watermelon smoothie. Yum, 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 yum. And it looks so pretty in the freezer, all pink and frozen. Lots of bikes in the stands. We have just one missing. I'm amazed, like you'll go around and see these different, you know, whatever you call it, docks all over the place with a string of bikes. Sometimes there's none available, sometimes it's totally filled up. I'm fascinated like how, like if they go around and replenish and sort of like how that all works. There's someone out there with a van who has to resituate Indigo bikes and fix Indigo bikes and make sure they're all working and listen to all the issues. You know, it didn't work when I tried to use my card, and it's the machine, not my card, you know. I've never used one. I tried to use one in New York, but I actually couldn't figure it out because I was trying to figure it out on the fly with not much time. I needed to hurry up and get from point A to point B. And I had found a really quick way through the subway system and walking. Anyway, a bike would have been quicker, but I couldn't figure it out. So these might be a little bit easier. In New York, they're City Bike. Here, they're Indigo. I have to read the instructions. I kind of avoid the bike because of the major bike accident I had on my own bike. And we kind of stay away from anything that could be potentially dangerous. You know, I don't mean to sound a certain way, but I actually experienced something very unusual and extraordinary. And some people wonder if it's, in a way, not having a car and driving a lot, like only renting. You know, if I had to have a car, I could try to rent. But that's like safer than being on the road all the time. In a way, it's a protective measure. So all of a sudden we have cars coming out here. Or it's an excuse for people not to pay me the money I deserve. Right. Are you doing Teddy or just Teddy? We'll check in on Teddy. We've been doing Teddy check-ins, so we'll check in. So there's not much up there other than we do our Grace Kelly and Teddy check-in. Grace Kelly's in there. We got a Suzuki. I almost said Ducati, just because I used to watch a YouTuber named Mr. Cat Eye. He's no longer on YouTube. He switched over to Rumble. A lot of people did after the Trump administration in 2016 and the pandemic. A lot of people experienced issues. I don't know if there were changes going on in YouTube that kind of forced people who talked about certain subjects into a different direction, kind of. We did the Teddy check-in at Dara Thai Cuisine. I'm at a different time of the day, so the sun reflecting kind of obstructs, you know, a perfect vision of Teddy. But checking in on him. So sometimes when I say the name Teddy, I think of a good friend of my mom and aunt's in Turkey Creek Forest. And I love, you know, she's still there. I love Teddy. Hopefully all is okay in her world. She's actually, I think she's in her 90s. But, and she has a granddaughter who takes care of her. She actually lost her son, so, it's interesting that people can live and actually see their own kids in old age pass away. Not, you know, not like it was kind of normal for her son to pass away. He was in his 70s or 80s. I guess 70s would make sense. Anyway, every time I say the name Teddy, I think of her. Teddy was super nice in my mom's development, and she was just a good person, or she is just a good person. I think of, you know, because I don't really talk to her any longer, but she's just a good person, and she didn't really play a lot of games. So there were a lot of people, wherever I've been, there's been a little bit of an unequal distribution of jackasses versus good people. And Teddy was one in a million in terms of, you know, there were a couple other people who were okay, but we are talking, everybody had to be a little like Yahoo, like, or over the top Yahoos. And it starts to get weird when too many people are Yahoos and being really stupid. And some people would just see it as rude or incredibly immature, if you will, playing stupid games from high school. But after a while it gets weird, like they just make it a practice to do this even through adulthood. Like they're 80 and still gotta play. They didn't gain much, you know, they're sitting there in this development. You know, it's not like they had more than anybody else. I'm wondering what they gained off of it, so.
When you touch them with your teeth, yeah, they are big, heavy on consent. And all most of my foods are those.
I love to do IHOP signage for some reason. It's one of my favorite signs, because technically Chinatown has the best signage, hands down. Or Chinese restaurants in general often have the best signs for restaurants. But I have to hand it to IHOP. For some reason, it's really appealing to look at IHOP, and they wound up in a space that could be seen as not as desirable. It used to be Passage to India. Little funny story, and it was like a buffet and sit-down Passage to India. When they changed hands, IHOP promoted itself by having mascot pancakes walk this walk as we're walking here. They would go out to the median strip and, you know, kind of wave people in like a pancake waving, a big gigantic pancake. And somehow it was so funny, like the idea of a pancake being a mascot. It got a little bit salacious and funny in that, say there was a pancake named Susie, all of a sudden Susie disappeared and Wendy came in. And the joke was, did Wendy bump out Susie for the top pancake position? Right? What happened to Susie? You know, now we have Wendy. So, in a way, it's a little bit funny, just a pancake in a costume, and all you see are the little legs of the pancake, you know, and I actually looked up like pancake history, like the mascot pancake history, and when I looked up mascot pancakes from IHOP, I found out that there was a pancake that was punched in the face in Oregon.